Welcome back to GDC. Under normal circumstances, we would have had game pitch check-ins, but it is March, and it's going to be mostly election stuff related. We'll be telling you about the roles of the board, and interested parties will be running. Today's agenda, actually, we're having a raffle to start with. Finally, we did it. All that attendance is paying off for something besides just enjoying the club. Let's go! Let's go! I wish we had our budget earlier so we could have done this last semester. Anyways, let's get into it. So, I gotta go in this thing, except I already opened it. So, as you can see, there are three prizes here. One is a skull. Seal react to this individual. Anyways, back to the actual meeting. I'm glad we had the raffle because this meeting might be short. Uh, Roles of the board. So last night I just kind of copied everything and adjusted them a little bit from last year's roles of the board. It should still be relevant. No mentions of a webmaster. Those who know. Anyways, so the CPP GDC board roles. In order for us to be an official club, get funding, and run all club activities, a board is required for each club. And those required roles are president, secretary, which is the scheduler, and treasurer. Money people. Uh, our club, we also have five additional positions beyond this, which is vice president, director of marketing, director of social media, historian, and video editor. And maybe a sixth secret position called webmaster, which uh, a graduate student now holds that. We have our own CPP website, but that is like their project. We will leave it up to the next board if they're interested in keeping that role or bringing it up. Uh, we'll see. But these are the main ones. Uh, Anyways, board overview. We hold elections for the president, treasurer, and secretary. So this will be coming up soon. I believe the application for this, for those who are interested in running for one or multiple of these positions, will be opening up after the meeting today. And the election speeches will be next week on Tuesday. Um, so either way, vice president is not voted for directly, but is actually the runner-up for the president position under normal circumstances. I'm saying that because we had like one person apply for president last year. Could you guess who it was? Me neither. Uh, yeah, and nobody applied for president, so we kind of forced Isabel into VP, which is I didn't force you. I was half forced. It was like a product of necessity. But anyways, there's that. And the remaining four positions, so social media, video editor, marketing, and historian, those are recruited by the new elected board through interview process. So after the speeches next week, the club will get to vote on who they want, and then we'll have an election social on Friday next week, where we reveal who the next president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary is. And then the following week after that, we will reiterate about the four positions and open up the form for whoever's interested in helping out with that. And the new board will interview you guys, hopefully before March is out, because there's a form the new elected president will have to do to re-register the club. Anyways, general requirements. Any general member can run for any position. Board members are required to pay for the VIP membership for the year they're on board. It's kind of like a yearly due type of thing. We put in a little bit of cash down. Um, it is required to be enrolled for the entire school year. And here it says the president must have at least a 3.0 GPA and the rest of the board must have at least a 2.0 GPA. I did reread the handbook last night and it did say any position can have at least a 2.0 GPA. I'm still not sure, but I guess it's just a good handbook, a good idea. Like if you have a 3.0 GPA, maybe you're good enough of handling yourself where you can handle a president position as well. I'd say kind of look at it that way. Um, Anyways, there are a bunch of shared responsibilities for every board member, and that is assisting in planning and organizing events, hosting meetings and workshops, generating new ideas for the club, attending the club and school events such as tabling, fairs, science council, and everything else involved with being a board member and also purchasing necessary materials for the club. So in our case, most of our socials we've been buying food. I am responsible for club management and all club activities, but so is the rest of the board. But generally, I get like executive decision on being like, okay, we want this here, this there, planning out the semester, and so on and so forth. The president directs the club's vision. So in my case, we were like, let's keep going with what has been working and see if we could try something new. Um, my favorite part is delegating club responsibilities. We also get to ensure deadlines are met and we tend to club requirements. Delegating is important. A lot of I mean, again, we're all college students, right? It would be easier for everyone to pass on, not to shoulder all the responsibilities. So, all the money related stuff, all the scheduling stuff, all on and so forth. That is why you have a board to help you out, to stay sane and manage the club. I would not be able to do this as a single person. I would go insane. Uh, Anyways, beyond that, being the president, you can also communicate with guest speakers, advisors, and other clubs. And as I mentioned earlier, you register the club on my bar. In your case, whoever next president might be, re-register the club because we are already registered and have been for how long? Like 15 years or more. This club is old, way before my time. Anyways, the VP is expected to fill in the gaps in between the board roles. They step in where the president cannot, and they oversee board activities. It's just kind of like a right hand individual to the president. They help out where they can. Um, Kind of everything goes. Treasurer is responsible for all the club finances. They ensure that the board members receive reimbursements for the club spending, at least as much as they can. Usually it's out of our hands. We do the disbursement forms, and then we get our money a year later. Some people from 2 years ago have not received their money yet, which is concerning. Uh, Anyways, they fill out and approve disbursement requests. The approval also comes from presidents and authorized signers. And they manage the budget and spending, and they determine the next year's budget. Anyways, secretary. The secretary is responsible for club scheduling. I did say I was going to make you guys come up and talk about your roles, but I forgot, so you guys got lucky. Yeah. So I have to match your energy. Anyway, yeah, the secretary is responsible for club scheduling, so that means while the whole board gets to generally decide on what events happen when and what meetings happen when, they're the ones that actually go and go in the 25 live portal, that's what it's called, and they'll be like, I want this room for this time, and usually fight. Well, not fight. Usually, this room is kind of guaranteed for us. The workshop room tends to be spotty, which is why we were in a different room last semester, and we got a better room this time. It's working with like scheduling conflicts, but this is a pretty easy role. I used to be secretary. I used to do the scheduling stuff. Um, as long as you find a good room with open times and the required, I would say, attributes. So, like some rooms don't allow food in. You don't want that for a social room, right? Um, you know, Stuff like that, easy stuff. And assist with managing club schedule. Secretary also used to send out. Secretary can also do announcements. Mostly, it's just been my VP and me handling that this semester. I used to do some announcements last year, and before then, which we discontinued, but the next board could recontinue. We also used to do newsletters, which every week would be like, these are the events and we'd send it out in an email on Outlook to CS clubs, and they would send it out to everybody else. But we thought nobody checks their email, so besides for school stuff, so everyone's on Discord. That is the most effective way to access everyone. But again, if you're interested in doing that again, you could bring back newsletters. That's what we used to do. Anyways, director of social media. This person is responsible for managing all the club's social media accounts, which is the YouTube, the Instagram, and I say question marks on TikTok, Reddit, and Steam group because I think we have these. And we have the Steam group, we don't really use it, but we constantly plug it in the case, I don't know, we might want to do something with it. Uh, we might have a Reddit. I don't know. We used to get emails. Yeah, ew. We used to get emails like recommendations or something in the club Gmail, which is interesting. I don't know if we have a TikTok. Do we have a TikTok? Do you know? Because I feel like we talked about having one. It has to be here for a reason. I didn't write a TikTok in, but We might have one. I don't know. I guess you'll find out. Uh, I guess you'll find out. I hope you don't. Uh, Anybody saying anything in meeting general? This is probably gonna load like in 2 years. Anyways, they also promote online engagement to the club, henceforth. Anyways, yeah, it promotes online engagement with the club. They reach out to guest speakers as well, and they work in tandem with the director of marketing. So, what is the director of marketing? They're responsible for the artistic direction of the club, so they make graphics and flyers for meetings and events. We design yearly T-shirts and club merchandise. I don't know what's going on with our T-shirts. I asked for like a merchandise list, and they said we only have one T-shirt, and I have not asked further about that. It's a little concerning. That's why we haven't really been doing much marketing this semester. Um, Maybe I got to get on them for club stalls. Any of you guys graduating this semester? No? All right, cool. Just me. Uh, but yeah, we also used to do stoles or want to do stoles or something like that, the thing you wear when you graduate. Um, they also can reach out to guest speakers, and as it says, you work in tandem with the director of social media. Finally, historian. I forgot to change the font for this one. What do you do, Jacob?
I make sure that it's all good, it's all in the proper format, and then I submit it to the science council every week.
That's right. They make you do that. Uh,
I guess I also manage the club drive.
yes. Speaking of managing the club Google Drive, yesterday I actually reorganized it. I put all of the slides from last semester and this semester in a club slides folder. Everything looks cleaner. It took like 2 minutes. I don't want an applause. Stop that. um, but yeah, again, this is why this is the main reason why we make you do sign-in sheets because we have to say how many people showed up or which people showed up. Um, and this is all on behalf of Science Council because the whole point of this is like, if you repeatedly do the things they want you to do, they like tally you up with some points. They give you points, and there's like whoever like the top three clubs that get the most points or something by the end of the semester, they get to have like a themed dinner or something. But anyways, video editor, Janice, what do you do? That's right. Um, They are responsible for processing and uploading all the meeting recordings. This means censoring anything that you shouldn't be hearing in the meeting recordings or seeing in the meeting recordings. Transforming raw footage into a curated experience. This sounds like something you could put on your resume. uh, Uploading videos to YouTube. That one doesn't go on the resume. And you manage the YouTube channel. So yeah, that's great. Speaking of which, it would be very cool if this meeting goes up as soon as possible. And next meeting, which will be club elections, if you can handle it, please make sure to edit that and upload it on the same day so people can see the speeches if they didn't show up and they know who to vote for. Cool. Um, why join the board? It is an excellent opportunity to branch out, network, and make new friends. You get to gain leadership experience. I have had a lot of leadership experience. I'm tired, boss. And as I was saying earlier, free custom stole upon graduation, which we should really get started on. I kind of want one. And free as in it comes out of the club account, but you get the money back. So, you know how it is. Nothing's truly free. Money's got to flow somewhere. But besides that, if you feel like GDC has been really good to you and you're passionate about this club and you want to see it continue, particularly for whoever wants to apply for president, please apply for president. Uh, you get to help out on that. And it gets a little bit busy, but you get to keep this club going. Everyone gets to keep having fun. You get to see great games made. Get to go to great socials. Hopefully, we can do a better social sometime soon instead of just Costco pizza inside room building 6. But we're working on that. Um, but yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Do you guys have anything positive to say about being on the board? What are your experiences? God help me. Exactly. You get a say in it. You get to pull it off too. But yeah, but I mean, well, everyone that's saying like God help me, that's like on the responsibility side of the things where you got to submit something to science council. That's the God help me part, or you got to go to meetings. That's the God help me part. You under what? You're about to be executed? Not yet. We need you. uh, anyways, yeah. So that is brilliant reasons to join the board. You can ask us more reasons if you're interested. We'll think of something to tell you. But yes, please, if you're interested, by all means. It does seem intimidating. I will be honest with you, I was very intimidated. As a matter of fact, my role as president started as a joke. But I went into the secretary role because I was like, oh, maybe president is a bit daunting. I feel like I don't have the experience necessary. And then as secretary, I got to see everything that happens in the club and how a bunch of other things run. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And I went for president, and nobody else went for president, so I got to be president. And it has been a great amount of fun. Please sleep on time and like manage yourself right, because everyone else relies on you as president, even though you are doing a delegation of work. Be nice to your board members. I love all of my board members. They keep me sane and they keep this club running. Elections. Candidates for the four elected roles will fill out a form and give a speech at our next general meeting. You guys are extremely encouraged to give your speech in person because that's a good way to put the name to the face and the motivations to the face and all that nice stuff. Uh, and candidates must show up in semi-formal attire. What I'm wearing, it might be a little bit more than semi. It's a bit casual-ish, smart. I don't know what this is called, but you can wear this if you want. That's what I'm saying. Polo shirt's okay, probably, right? Like Jacob's got it down. Maybe not like that, but you got it down. Now you got it down. That's right. But yeah, just generally semi. We're not gonna hound like if you absolutely can't, we're not gonna hound you for that. That would not be nice. This is not a classist club. There are no tax brackets here. Kind of. Uh, and naturally, after you give these stuff, there will be a form open where everyone else will get to vote on their preferred candidates after the speeches. And then these votes will be revealed during the election social, which is going to be a social with an election presentation, be like, you guys won! Congratulations. Enjoy yourself. And then you will be working with us to get prepared for next semester. I forgot to change the color of the font here. Speeches. The candidates will get 36 minutes speech about their candidacy. You are allowed to run for more than one position, as I mentioned earlier, and your speech will count for all applied positions. So if you're feeling particularly gutsy or you want to maximize your chances of getting accepted into some role, you can do president, treasurer, and secretary. But ultimately, it depends on what people vote you for. Um, I don't. Has there ever been a situation where it's like there's like a tie vote on all three roles for one guy for a board in general? Yeah, I guess. Maybe it was 15 years ago when people went outside. Uh, but yeah, you'll be making a speech, and it does say 3 to 6 minutes here. It could be adjusted to more or less, depending on how many people want to actually apply for board. Um, and of course, slides are allowed for visual aid. I would say recommended. It's a good way to get to know you by being like, hey, this is me, and this is what I like, and this is what I want to do, and these are the skills that I have. It's like a really low stakes interview. That's what your speech is. Um, but I would say, yes, you can joke around, but please do take your role seriously if you're interested. And that is the end of today's meeting. Speaking of which, since I'm still here and still recording, if you do want to run for a position and you absolutely cannot make it in person or on Discord, record your election speech, please, because it would be not nice if you wanted to run and you just couldn't show up. But that does include keeping an account that if you do get voted in and you do end up on the board, you do have to try to make some time for the club. So I'm saying like if you couldn't show up this semester, try to orient your schedule around. being able to show up. Like I keep my Tuesdays free at this time so I could be here, and I have no class on Friday. But just generally, like try to show up as to as many meetings as you can if you're bored. Uh, I would say, especially if you're president, but that depends. So usually, you can delegate the club presentation stuff to other board members, but I already delegate so much. I would love to at least do this. So, there's that.